Hey y'all, it's Alex from You Should Craft, and today I'll show you how to crochet this hair scrunchie using only half double crochets. So this is a super easy way to just upgrade one of your regular hair elastics. So these are like the ouchless kind that don't have any metal. It's just an elastic band. So you'll need one of these for each hair scrunchie that you want to make. You will also need your worsted weight acrylic yarn. That's because this is stretchier and can create kind of a looser fabric. You'll also use your J 6mm hook, and then you'll need scissors and a tapestry needle. So let's go ahead and get started. So we'll start off with a chain. And we're going to chain 9. Make sure you pull out enough yarn to get started. If you've been following along with my Newbie series, you know that pulling out my yarn is like the thing that I always forget to do. And if you're not following along in the Newbie series, and you're a newer crocheter who either is looking to learn or who just wants some quick and easy beginner patterns, then you should sign up. I'll put the link in the description below. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just need one more. So here's 9. And so in order to create this hair scrunchie, we're basically crocheting a tube around our hair elastic. So this is a continuous round, just like what we did for our coffee sleeve a couple days ago. So put your hair elastic into your chain, and then you're going to join to your first chain with a slip stitch. And it does not matter which loop of your chain you join to or which loop of your crochet you join or like you crochet into. So back bumps, both loops, top loop, it totally doesn't matter. We're going to seam it shut and it'll be so scrunchy that you won't even see the join. But once you're joined with that slip stitch, chain 1. And I'm just going to do 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. And it is a little bit weird feeling to get started like this. You kind of have like the hair tie to hold on to, and you're trying to manage your starting chain. But it's so easy. And oops, I accidentally chained instead of doing a half double crochet. So remember, for half doubles, we yarn over. We insert our hook into the chain, yarn over and pull up that first loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. I just did a chain again. I don't know what I'm doing. So this is going to be in continuous rounds, which means we don't join to the first stitch. We just keep going on top of row 1. And for this project, you'll notice I didn't even use my stitch marker. So you can use it if you want to, but this is like such a low-key project that it totally doesn't matter. For my first one, I used what's called a Brava Mini, which is like a 25-gram tiny ball of yarn. And I just kept going until I ran out of yarn, which took about 56 rows. But it really doesn't matter how long you go. So you might end up with, you might go to 70 rows. You might stop at 50. Like, you just want to keep crocheting until you're happy with the way that your hair scrunchie looks. It totally doesn't matter. But all right, so I'm back at where I started. So here is my starting chain one, and here's my first half double crochet. So I'll just crochet into both loops of that first stitch. And then I just keep going around. It's okay if you crochet a little bit loose for this. That's why we're using the J hook. It's all going to be squished up together eventually anyway. And this is kind of personal preference on which side of crochet you think is like right. I believe that the inside is technically like the right side, but so I flip it out after a couple rows, but it's personal preference. So if you find that you like the other side better, like whatever, it's your hair scrunchie. So you will just keep crocheting half double crochets in the round all the way around until you like feel like you've got enough scrunch in your hair scrunchie. So again, I got 56 rows on my last one, but it totally doesn't matter. And it doesn't even matter if you finish your last row all the way. So, you know, if you just get tired and you end up stopping with like, I don't know, like 7 half double crochets in your last row, it totally doesn't matter. I cannot stress it enough, but this is like a low-key, super easy project. So like turn on Netflix or some show you need to catch up on, and you can just kind of space out with this one. So you can go ahead and pause the video and just keep crocheting. Once I get to where my hair elastic is pretty much full, I'll show you what I mean by being like scrunchy. And then I'll catch back up with you again at the end to weave in our ends and like seam the edges together. But for now, just keep working on that half double crochet tube. So I'm still working, and if you look, I'll show you in just a sec, but you can see that I've almost gone all the way around my hair tie. But if I stopped here, it wouldn't scrunch. So what we want to do is, as we're working, kind of smush back your fabric so that you can get kind of these ruffles in here. So this has so much more scrunch than if I just finish off right here. So you'll keep going until you're satisfied with like the bunching on your scrunchie. So keep going. Again, I got to like row 56 with this. You can go until you run out of yarn, or you can go until you're happy with it, or you can go for 56 or 57 like I did. It's totally personal preference. And that's one of the cool things about this, is that you can like personalize it a little bit based on what you think would be the cutest. But so pause the video, keep working on your scrunchie, and I'll catch back up with you to weave in the ends at the end. All right, so I've reached a point where I'm satisfied with the amount of like scrunch in my scrunchie. So I'm going to trim my yarn. I don't know, leaving maybe like 10 inches. You want enough so that you can seam the ending and the beginning to each other. So pull out your hook all the way. And then join your tapestry needle. And it doesn't even really matter how neat your seaming is. One thing you do want to check though is that your tube is pretty flat. It's really easy for it to get twisted while you're crocheting because you kind of have to turn it. So you don't want it to be like this when you join it. So just kind of twist it out so it's all facing like the same direction. And then with your tapestry needle, just sew the pieces together. Your starting tail, I've already poked mine into the tube, but make sure it's in there, and then that's just one less end. One less end to weave in. So I'm putting my tapestry needle through the other side, and then just like weaving my way around. And this is a little bit challenging because of the like scrunchiness, but because of the scrunchiness, if you're a little bit sloppy with your seaming, people won't be able to tell because it'll all be kind of like folded up on itself anyway. So that's pretty sweet. So do the best that you can. It can be a little bit challenging to line up your stitches, but just make sure you're getting both sides so that you're getting through both loops of the last round and getting through the bottom of that starting chain from the first round. And at a certain point, you'll have to kind of feed your needle through the center because you'll be reaching the end. So I've only got a little bit left here. All right, so I'm just gonna go over my starting just a little teeny bit to make sure it's secure. But once you're all seamed up, that's basically it. So you can adjust your scrunching so that it's hard to tell, and then you'll weave in your ends. And make sure that you weave them in really good because you'll be moving this around a lot, especially if you mess with your hair. Like I know I'm always like putting my hair up and then taking it down and then like twirling my scrunchie on my hand. So just make sure that if you do that, that you kind of plan for it by weaving in your ends really good, and then it won't come apart if you're a fiddler. And when I'm weaving, I like to sometimes cross over to the other side just to kind of reinforce that join that I did when I seamed the sides together. And once you're satisfied, you don't even really need to like trim your yarn. You can just kind of like stick it into the middle of your tube and then just pull it out in a further away spot. And if you just kind of like tighten it out, that fixes it. And so mine, I crocheted it, or I seamed it a little bit too tight. And so we can kind of cover that up a little bit by getting it scrunchier in that area. But that's it. So you can wear your scrunchies, put them in your hair. I don't know what else you use scrunchies for, but you know, have like a cute kind of retro like 90s ponytail. But that's it. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Remember, this is part of our Newbie series, so you can sign up in the description if you haven't already signed up. But just be sure to subscribe to the You Should Craft channel for more patterns and tutorials. And that's it. Thanks for watching, y'all.